I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
may break my bones, but nothing will ever kill me. Miss me? Fetch out.
Salute, and welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, we're getting deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark, and we are broadcasting to you live from the world famous city of Atlanta, Georgia. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Can you hear me loud and clear in the chat room? Give me a black fist in the chat room if you can hear me loud and clear, because tonight, y'all know we got to deal with this. Yeah, y'all was asking me what my thoughts were on this, and we gonna definitely go in tonight because I'm gonna cover this in a slightly different manner than most. But yeah, we got to discuss this because America, your hypocrisy is on full display. White supremacy in this country is showing out, okay, particularly under the Democratic administration that's still in there. And see, when you have the Kamala Harris's, by the way, who's lost her campaign here, as we all know, and they're coming up now with new figures about the money that she wasted. First it was 1 billion, then it's 1.5, then they saying 2 billion. So really, we may well just go and say she probably lost about $3 billion. Let's go ahead and tell it like it is. All they coming for you, boy. And then you boule Shillbillies, Roland Martin, Al Sharpton, and all the rest of y'all. Oh man, you know when they start them artists over there in the Democrat Party, they're gonna start with the niggers first. So yep. That was the last good check you're going to get for a long time from that Democrat Party. But see, dealing with this white supremacy that's on display from them, oh boy, we remember old 94 crime bill of Biden there. Oh yeah, we're going to take a good look at him and his history tonight. So if you're a younger person over here and you have not been familiar with that, you're going to get a hell of an education over here tonight, okay? Make sure y'all give me some black fists in the chat room if you can hear me loud and clear. And salute to the good brother, Black Truth United, already showing love on the Cash App. Thank you very much, my good sir. Thank you. So family, listen, let me tell you like this, right? When it comes to this situation here, I said it when he first came out and, they was talking about, I'm going to respect the court's decision and all that. And I'm like, when I heard that, I bust out laughing. I was like, when have white folks ever let their little demonic spawn, okay, be held accountable for their actions when they have that kind of power? I told everybody in my mom, you believe that? I got 2 nice bridges to sell you, one in Brooklyn and one in San Francisco at a discount rate, okay? If you're going to believe that. And sure enough, when I said that, a lot of people like, man, you said you were right. You told us. Yeah, I know I told you. Let me tell y'all something, man. The great thing about getting older, if you're a very astute person that pays attention to history and where you are, a lot of things you can kind of call it before it happened, okay? You really can for the most part. If you pay attention to more than sports, movies, music, getting high, getting drunk, et cetera, okay? You can kind of see which way the political wind is going to blow and how the climate is going to go on a lot of things in society, okay? And that's a life or death thing for our lineage, okay? So I just want to let y'all know the tone of the broadcast tonight. Yeah, we're going to do a deep dive in this subject. Before we do that, though, let me mind my manners, okay, and greet my esteemed guests that are joining us in the building. And salute to the good brother, Kier Edwards, for the Cash App. I almost mispronounced your name, good brother. Salute to you, good brother. Let me see who I see in the building. I see the brother Hot One over here. Reparations Jen is in the house. Michael Williams, I see you. Seven Scales is in the building. Patricia Jenkins, the brilliant librarian. Tanisha Murdoch, I see you, good sister. Charlie X, I see you. The Prince of Paraphernalia, I see you, good brother. Dad Miller TV, what's going on, my brother? Doc B1 in the house, I see Dunn. Kermit S. Wingfield, my battle buddy, what's happening? Nightfall Drop. Let's see. Lee Holmes, I see you, brother. Black Truth United is in here. Let's see. I don't miss anybody. Rashawn Graham, I see you, my good man. Let's see. Mrs. L, salute to you, good sister. The Lone Wolf Effect. And Major Alonzo Bird Jr. What's going on, my brother? Hey, I appreciate you, young man. You and your generation are the truth also. You will be the future of our people. So I am very proud of all of the younger people that do happen to frequent this platform because, see, one of the things that we got to make sure we do, and salute to the good brother Rashawn for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good man. One of the things that we have to make sure we do, and I'm going to say this again, being a Gen Xer, the Gen Xers, especially those of us who are the older ones, because we're the eldest of the modern generations when I say that. Gen X, millennials, Gen Z. Gen Xers, we have to make sure we don't make the mistakes that the boomers made with us, okay? Because Lord knows they made plenty of mistakes and bad decisions. Two different things. I've already explained the difference between those. A mistake is unforeseen occurrence. A bad decision requires a series of thoughts that lead you to a choice, okay? So when it comes to Gen Xers, I've said this many times. Excuse me. What we have to do is make sure that we're there with ready knowledge for any questions that the younger generations may have. And in conjunction with that, especially if it comes to a family situation, pass them on some type of resources. It may not be $1 billion, $1 million, whatever, but give them something to get a start, okay? And if you can't do that, put them up on game on how they can navigate things, okay? Case in point, hey, if they don't understand how credit should work, get them together on that long before they go out into the world, okay? Put them up on how to manage money, how to make their money make money for them, okay? Teach them about investing in things. For example, when you send the younger ones out into the world, you should be sending them out there with an economically independent mindset, okay? And always looking to maximize their opportunities to use their talents, their natural talents to make money, okay? I mean, listen, one of the main things you want to get into their heads, let them know that, hey, all the stuff that you like, there's nothing wrong with having nice things that you like. But if you own an abundance of anything, let's just say you got a sneakerhead. They love sneakers, okay? You should invest in stock in whatever sneaker companies that you buy, okay? I'm just saying those are just some basic things. So we just have to make sure that we're not making the same mistakes. We got to make sure we're not looking down on them and telling them what they can't do. I'm going to tell you something. You want to piss me off? Put me around some old bastard that will sit there and talk down to the younger people. See, here's the thing, because the boomers were bad about this shit with us. If a younger person comes to you and they're talking about doing some idea that you've never heard of or something that's never been tried, and they ask you what you think about it, hey, listen, ask them to explain it to you in more detail. And instead of telling them what they can't do, figure out how you can help them do it. Now, you can be honest and say, okay, what you're trying to do, it might be a little difficult, but I'm not going to discourage you from trying. Because, see, the reason why I say that is you never know what they're going to come up with that could solve the problems of our lineage. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I can't be around any older person that disparages the younger people. I despise that. And see, other groups do not do that. They don't do that. They encourage their youth to go above and beyond, okay? They tell them, listen, the sky's the limit as far as whatever you can think of or create. And see, one more thing I want to say before we get into tonight's lesson here. Please pay close attention to two particular things, okay, with your children, if you're parents. Pay attention to what their special gifts and talents are. Whatever they have an interest in that's positive, you feed that early. I don't care if it's painting, writing, okay, drawing, whatever it is, feed that. You take them to places where they can learn more about that. Get them the supplies that they need to have to explore that, okay? And the number two thing you got to pay attention to, because I saw that story about that young black girl, man. Oh, my God, that cut me deep, man. Like I said, I don't have any kids, but, man, listen, I was a child. I grew up. I got younger, cousins or what have you, man, in the family. And, anytime something happened to a young child, that really gets at me. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to report on that one because that pissed me off so bad reading about that. And, I'm trying to find out more details on it. And I think y'all know the story I'm talking about with the young sister there. She tried to delete herself because people was bullying her and all of this. So you got to make sure that your children's self-esteem is high enough where you let them understand that when it comes to you as an individual, you are unique and you are special, okay? There's nobody else like you. You are one of a kind. You don't have to fit in with nobody. You don't have to give a damn about nobody's opinion outside of you if you ain't doing it to hurt yourself or nobody else. And you should, because see, I'm telling you what was instilled in me. Let me tell you something. I had such confidence at such a young age where people used to think I was arrogant as hell, but I wasn't rude or arrogant. I just wasn't somebody that your words could affect or you couldn't bully me in anything. You know, and I didn't really care what you said as long as you didn't put your hands on me, okay? People kind of learned that pretty quickly because, you know, my father before me was a martial artist, my uncles. So I learned how to fight very early, and I was very good at it, and I still am. So, you know, we can get into a verbal battle, whatever, back when I was a kid, but you better leave it at that because now, once you start putting your hands on me, all the talking stopped then. So my point is this, as far as your children's self-esteem, you have to make sure that, you know, and see, and this is for some of the younger parents, okay? I'm not talking down to y'all. I'm talking to you in a way where you preserve your baby's lives and you really can circumvent some of these things and head them off at the pass before something tragic happens, like to that young sister. Let me tell you something. Every day that they come home, don't just flop them in front of a TV or a computer or a tablet. You talk to them, man. Find out how their day was. Fact of business, it should be a routine. Hey, when you come in here, talk to me. I ain't seen you all day. Hey, let me know what's going on with you. And hopefully you have the relationship where they can tell you anything. You know what I'm saying? And you be helping them to deal with certain things, okay? Listen, let me tell you something right now. One of the things that I think will help your children, I'm going to give y'all an exercise in case you're a younger person or younger parent that's dealing with this. One of the things I think will help your children as far as like people trying to pick on them and bully them and all of this stuff with social media, I'm going to tell you something you do. And, you know, it's up to you to decide which comedians you pick. But why some world famous comedians from our lineage with your children? Now, like I said, you got to pick and choose which ones you're going to let your child listen to. But the reason I'm telling you that is, hey, man, start sharpening their roast game up to the point where, hey, you be like, oh, you want to go here with these jokes? Oh, I got something for that. Let me tell y'all something, man. I was a kid back when I was in school. Hey, everybody remember the lunchroom day. That's where we used to do all our roasting and stuff. If you started up with me, I would let you get one or two. I was like, all right, bro, you sure you want to do this now? Because, you know, once I get started, y'all see how I am over here. Okay? Hey, look, I could be serious, but I do have a silly side. And once I start, I'm going to have fun with it. And see, like most things in life that you do that you have fun with, you're going to be good at it, okay? I'm like, all right, bro, now you got two now. When I start in on you now, I'm going to have everybody laughing. I was that dude that, hey, they be like, hey, bro, he going to get you, boy, if you start up. And, man, some of them, unfortunately, they couldn't take the jokes. They want to hop up and try to get physical. I'm like, all right, now, you know, boy, I'm going to put you behind that lunch counter, and they're going to think that you something they're serving out here to eat anyway. But, you know, all jokes aside, sit down with your kids, man, and have them watching some comedy or something, you know what I'm saying, so they can, you know, get that roast game together, man. And at the end of the day, and I understand that there's slight differences between the self-esteem of little boys and little girls, but in general, you want to make sure that you're doing things with them that boost their self-esteem and confidence in conjunction with getting that roast game together. For example, this is a big proponent of keeping their self-esteem high. Making sure that, hey, as a family, hopefully y'all exercising together. You need to be playing sports together, something. Because see, when children see that their individual gifts are, whatever they are, they see the greatness in what they're able to do, especially on a physical level, that raise your collective self-esteem as far as your thought process. So it's like, it's not going, you know, they can't really rattle a child like that. And I understood from what I was reading in that article, they was picking on the young sister because she was wearing her natural hair. And I'm like, man, you know, to see the condition that she's in, she's alive, but she ain't gonna never be well, let me not say never. I ain't gonna say that. She's got a long road to recovery. I'm gonna say that because I hope she does recover, but it's gonna be a process. So anyway. And salute to the sister, Mrs. L, for the Cash App, and salute to the brother of Trabia Lawson for the Cash App. So I hope y'all take that message to heart. Okay? I mean, we got love on our black babies, man. And look, let me tell you something, man. I want to say this final thing about that. All right, because I know y'all like, oh, he preaching. You damn right, because I love my people. I love all of y'all in here. I do. I can say it. I love your children. I ain't never met them, okay? I want them to grow up and have the type of stability that I had as a child, okay? And my family on both sides didn't play the radio about making sure we were good as kids, okay? I want to say this to you. Pull your kids to the side, even just at random. And you know how kids are, because you know how we were when we were younger, when our older family members would, say what I'm about to say. Be like, hey, listen, you're an important part of this family. We love you to life. I want you to know that at all times. I mean, they're going to have their reactions or whatever, but you got to let them know that, hey, man, I got your back no matter what. We're blood. You are my family, and you're important. And see, when you constantly reinforce that importance into your young people, it will deter them from doing anything like that to hurt themselves, because they're going to be thinking, okay, even if I begin to feel this way, hey, man, how that going to make mom feel? Dad, little bruh, big bruh, you know what I'm saying? My nieces, my nephews, my aunts, uncles, whatever, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be thinking, they're going to have that connection. You got to let them know that, hey, you are part of this family, okay? You're not just here. All right, we love you, okay? We don't say that enough sometimes to our loved ones, man. So that's what I wanted to say on that, all right? So we're going to move right along here and get into tonight's issue because, yeah, y'all see it. Y'all see it. Unless you've been on a rock somewhere, y'all see it. Biden pardoned his little crackhead son despite previous pledges not to. Oh, boy. I mean, man, look, let me tell y'all something, man. If you hadn't done your homework on this low-life jackass that he produced, that he calls a son, boy, he is a piece of work. Besides his criminal activity, don't you know they saying that because, one of Biden's sons died, man, he went and slept with his brother's wife and just all kind of crazy shit. I mean, talk about a world-class fuck-up. And only in America can them folks, children, get away with that shit. Because, see, if he was black, think about if Obama little girls or if Obama had sons, if they started doing some of that stuff, oh, man, you get prison time. I'm going to tell you right now, I believe if Barack Obama kids were doing all that kind of stuff, I don't even think they would come up with something like, nah, you ain't going to be able to pardon them before we put them behind bars. I'm just saying, man, because, the rules are different for them folks. And see, as old as Hunter Biden is, they'll call him a little boy. They don't care what they adults do. They still call them children even when they 30, 40 plus years old. But you take somebody like Lil Tamir Rice playing with a toy, oh, he a grown man. As soon as you pull up, you got to jump up in and take his life from him. Boy, the hypocrisy behind that. And y'all know I am no fan of the Diddler, but I got to say this, okay? At least as far as we know, they ain't got no evidence proving that the Diddler killed anybody or anything like that, okay? And as far as I know, I don't think they really have no hard evidence for no drug charges. So I'm like, okay, you got Hunter running around here, man, and he got all kinds of stuff that they done accuse him of. Everybody remember that laptop? And yes, I saw some of the stuff that was floating around that was on there. Oh, my God. I mean, I can't even talk about that stuff on the main channel, boy. This bastard a real piece of work. So anyway, we gonna get deep into this because see, boy, you Democrat shillbillies, if you thought that I was going hard in the paint before, you really gonna hate me after tonight. I'm gonna make you look even more stupid than you could already look, even if that's possible. Okay, we gonna definitely throw some extra stupid sauce on you because see, y'all ran around with the cape on for these damn dirty demonic Democrats. And they not showing the pardons to none of your family members. See, let me make this stick before I go where I'm about to go. You Democrat shillbillies right now, the black ones are you. You got family members that's locked up for far less than what Hunter did. Is Biden talking about pardoning your family members? And see, you can say what you want about the orange man. At least he did do the First Step Act, which somewhat began to undo some of the damage of the 94 crime bill. I do hope that that's something that he continues to do to undo that damage, okay? Because, I mean, hell, while Biden was in there for these 4 years, him and Commandment, they damn sure weren't trying to continue that. See, you would have almost had to give them their due if they would have said, okay, you know what, we got problems with Trump, but this was a good program that he had here. Let's continue that First Step Act. Nah, they weren't doing that. Go back and look at the stats and the numbers because, see, that's what matters over here. Go back and look at the numbers and statistics. This administration been locking black folks up left and right. And then as far as just high profile people, you know, they got RICO charges for everybody except for the Hunter Bidens. Where his RICO charges at? Yeah, we finna get their ass the blues over here tonight. But before we get deep off into that, you know, we got to have us a good old sponsor, right? Because yeah, we got to seriously address this, but we got to clown this bastard too. Yeah, y'all see what this is on the screen, right?
Back to business. Let me put the voice on. Hey guys, how are you? It's the snake. That's right. Listen, I understand that you're upset that Jim Crow Joe Biden, the mass incarcerator in chief, has locked up many of your family members, and they're not getting out anytime soon. But he pardoned his son before he got anywhere close to a jail cell, after promising that he would just abide by the court's decisions. Listen, now you know I've told you about trusting snakes, okay? If we're freezing, your best bet is to leave us out there in the snow, but if you take us in by your fire, well, I've told you that story before. But listen, we're going to get into a sponsor before we get into the details of the hypocrisy of America. Now, I warn you, if you haven't laughed all day or the last couple of days, you're going to laugh now. Because sometimes in life, when you're dealing with certain events, you have to immortalize them with song, okay? Does everybody around here like music? Do you? Do you like music, ladies and gentlemen? A snake is talking to you. Do you like music? Well, if you do, I've got a hell of a tune for you because it's apropos to tonight's broadcast and it perfectly fits with what we're going to be discussing. Ladies and gentlemen, put your music ears on and I warn you to put down your food and drink because it's going to be the funniest damn thing you've heard all night. Let's get ready to pull our lighters out. Don't give one to Hunter now. He's high enough as it is. But pull your lighters out and sing along with this classic song.
When I come home from work, I'm fiending for an 8-ball. I got crack on my mind, I'm hearing cocaine call, telling me to beep the dealer to deliver me stuff. Keep it a secret from my wife, cause she thinks I don't use drugs. There I was, bleeding from my nose, and damn, I couldn't breathe, but I'm still thinking about the next gram. It's Friday night, I'm not trying to leave my crib, dude. I kill myself while the dealer's eating Japanese food. I ain't got no pride while buying the shit. I'm lying to myself, telling the runner I'm trying to quit. It's all make-believe, I'll pretend that I'm true, and when you give me credit, I'll dodge you every chance that I get to. Even if it's good, I'll sniff it up in a minute. Beep you back and complain that you put too much cut in it. If you fall for that and bring me a new sack, I'll be making more crazy faces than Jim Carrey on crack. Cause yo, I'm ripped, I owe you loot, plus I annoy you. I deserve to be murdered, but the coke is doing it for you. I got nerve, can you put them pills on my bill? Yo, I'll tell you we're friends, and yo, we don't even chill. I need drugs. Drugs. Baking soda, cocaine, how sweet. I need to find me a crack pipe and I'm complete. Got these crack dealers chasing me through the cement jungle, cause they gave me shit to sell and yo, I smoked the whole bundle. Yo, I can't front, I got dope in my spleen, and I'm telling everyone at this NA meeting I'm 38 clean. I won't die even with tuberculosis. I could go on forever mixing dope with my method on dosage. You can find me at Brighton Beach or Coney Island or Rikers Island. My crack pipe's my violin, I play along to the police siren. My eyes squint, looking for crack on the floor, picking up breadcrumbs and lint. I don't know who I am, ask me I couldn't say. I took a chance and tried to get clean and it lasted one day. Tried to go to rehab too but couldn't get admitted, and if money's missing from your pocketbook, you know who did it. I need drugs. I need drugs. marijuana, then graduated to coke, cause I needed something stronger. Masculine dust, downers, injection, sensation. I love to experience a patient's medication. I'll snort the drugs off the back of my hands. All I need is a hit of it and I'll create a new dance. Protect yourself, baby, cover yourself up. My body swings all over once my seizure erupts into a frenzy. On the phone I got 30 cents, but when we meet face to face I got $10 less. Made up my mind, I'm quitting, I'm swearing in tears. I'm not gonna get high, I'll only drink beers. Can't sit and wait for my dealer to come provide it. Got a party to go to and I'm the only one invited. I'll search a whole house for that damn white mouse, and when I finally find it, I'll sniff the whole ounce. I need drugs. I need drugs. Dealer, listen to me. When I come home from work, fiending for an 8-ball, nose candy on my mind, I've come to realize you need me. And if you want me to keep copping, give me a free piece. It's my birthday, yesterday. Anyway, I'ma go sniff this. I'll beep you in an hour. I hate you.
Oh, listen, man. I tried to warn y'all, man, to put your food and drink down. I tried to warn you, man. Listen, I know I had to ruin
it. Never mind LL Cool J's I need love. That's not what you need. Love isn't gonna solve your problems. You need drugs.
Oh, man, listen. That's about as lighthearted as it's gonna get tonight, because we finna cook this bastard. Yeah, man. Listen, dog. Oh, I told y'all, man, I'm gonna make them hate me. Listen, man. If you gonna sit up here and pardon your little criminal thug son, yeah, remember that word? They always throwing thug at black folks. I'm finna throw that term at their asses tonight, because, see, let me tell y'all why I'm finna go in. Because, see, one of the things that Shieldbillies don't like about my platform in particular, oh yeah, I got the jokes. I roast you all day long, but I actually can recite history, okay? And I know where to go to pull things out the crates of history, put it right back in their hypocritical faces, okay? And we're gonna take a little walk down memory lane. Oh, I see y'all laughing over there. Y'all like that song, huh? I be telling y'all, man, I'm too petty for my own good, okay? I'm too petty for my own good. Y'all don't understand. I restrain myself for a reason. Y'all don't be encouraging me, because it could get worse. Listen, I started to do a video and put the song behind it, but what I was going to do, I was like, okay, I might do it on Patreon. I don't know. But anyway, what we're about to do, we're about to take a walk down memory lane, and we got to visit some of old Joseph Biden's former statements, you know, because, you know, he was Mr. Tough on crime. Oh, boy, criminals all over the place. Oh, we got to lock everybody up. Oh, man, you know, I mean, he was just gangster with it, okay? Yeah, and see, look, what I'm about to show you now, family, you know, over here in New Black Media Space, we stay on these Shieldbillies' necks, and we were talking about, you know, basically, if then they not going to give us any tangibles, after our people been voting for them for 6+ decades, then why in the hell are you voting for them? Well, for you younger people that, you know, are over here on this platform, or if you happen to listen to this on the playback, this is going to be an extra history lesson. And it's something that many of you might not have seen, and you're going to understand why we were going so hard in the paint beyond just getting tangibles. See, you need to understand that, and I'm talking about both political parties, but we focusing on the Democrats here tonight. You need to understand that these people in these positions of power, they have a bullseye on your back, okay? This is why we don't do the black and brown talk, the black and nothing talk, because there's no other group in this country that is targeted the way you are, young black man and young black woman, okay? And so you got to understand that those white adjacents, even the white Hispanics, etc. For example, I tell y'all many times about Leander Perez, get the book Boss of the Delta. That's the white Hispanic former governor of Louisiana back in the day that said the best way to hate an N-word is to hate him before he exited his mother's womb, okay? That's been passed down. So this is why we don't play that allyship crap unless somebody really comes out and proves themselves. And even then, it's only with an individual that we'll actually be cool with, not collective. So we're going to let Mr. Joseph Tough on Crime, 94 Crime Bill Biden. And by the way, his name has been on every crime bill since 1976. He said that himself. We're going to remind you in his own words about how he feels about crime, except for when it's his little alabaster demonic thug criminal son, okay? We're going to let him talk in his own words, and then we're going to critique some things.
I'm the guy that said rehabilitation, when it occurs, we don't understand it and notice it. And even when we notice it and we know it occurs, we don't know why. So you cannot make rehabilitation a condition for release. That's why in our system, there's the federal system, you serve 85% of your time. I remember when it was going on, when I was making these arguments in the late 70s, they used to call Biden's same time for the same crime provision. It's a shame, but we don't know how to rehabilitate. But there is a consensus, and I will cease. A, we must make the streets safer. I don't care why someone is a malfactor in society. I don't care why someone is antisocial. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change their behavior. That's why we do in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it. But they are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families.
The fourth.
So see now, a lot of you younger people probably never heard him say that. Okay, yeah, that was Jim Crow Joe Biden back in his younger years. Okay, yeah, and see, like the brother, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Like the brother Javon in the chat room was saying, you know, he had a situation when he was a young man, and you know, first offense, and under that crime bill, man, they stole 8 years of this brother's life, man. You see what I'm saying? And my brother, you know, I hope you're doing well now, but hey, man, if you need help getting any type of employment or anything like that, you in a space where people actually give a fuck about each other, man. Listen, I would encourage you to get your CDL if you're not already doing well, but if you need help, it's plenty of brothers and sisters over here. See, over here in my community, in my chat room, we really help each other, okay? So, Brother Javon, if you still in here, man, network with some of the brothers and sisters in here. Hey, reach out to me by email. Everybody over here tell you. You hit me up, I'm going to get back to you, okay? Because, see, that's what it's about with these platforms. We report the news, but we also try to help each other offline as well, okay? And everybody over here vouch for you. My track record is good and clean on that, all right? People will tell you, if I say I'm going to do something, I get it done, all right? But we're going to get back to this because we couldn't leave out Miss Hillary Rodham Clinton. Oh, no. Oh, no, you know I'm finna go deep back in the crates on this. I want you to hear what this raggedy, dried-up, dog-faced bitch, and hey, I'm going there, had to say about our people because she was talking about black folks with this. See, a lot of times I get it, being that we're Gen Xers and we're the elders of the modern generations. I know sometimes the younger people like, why they go so hard in the paint over there in the new black media spaces? Because I'm going to tell you young people something right now. We're fighting to protect your future, okay? We're fighting to protect that. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is something I'll say about all the older generations. The way most of us feel to actually care about our people, we look at it as like, damn, we should have gotten a lot of this stuff taken care of before your time came. But see, the problem is still here. So we try to go as hard as we can in the paint while we're still here to keep our foot on these devil's necks because they're targeting you. And I understand if I'm listening to any young person that's listening to me, I understand it's not fair. And you're right, it's not. You should be able to live your life in your country that our ancestors built without having to worry about any of this stuff. But the fact stands, it is a reality. And your peers that are not black, they don't have to deal with this. Nobody's writing crime bills to mass incarcerate them. You got to look at some of the things that, you know, when you hear older people like myself, we sound a bit extreme. you got to start looking at numbers, because that's one thing that don't care about none of our feelings. And you can't find any other group in the country that's more incarcerated than black folks. And a lot of times when you look at that situation, we're the most exonerated, because a lot of times the stuff that they say we doing, we ain't doing that. It's only a small percentage of our people that commit very violent crimes. Most of our people in that damn 94 crime bill were incarcerated for minor drug offenses, things of that nature. And a lot of them, like the brother Javon shared with us, was first offenders. But see, they throw that out the window when you black. You only get first offender status when you good and lily white in America, okay? I want you to listen to what this asshole right here had to say. Because see, that's one thing about me. I'm not going to be polite with these motherfuckers. They hurt our community, man. And this is why we go so hard in the paint at them shillbillies for wanting to run out there and vote for them. These motherfuckers have not made amends for none of the damage that they've done to our community. Say what you want about Donald Trump. I'm not saying go turn Republican. I'm not saying you got to like the guy. But damn it, he did try to undo some of that. It helped us vicariously through that. Some of our people got out with that First Step Act. And like I said, I hope it continues when he gets in here in this administration. That's something that needs to happen, okay? Look, they always talking about the state of the black community. That 94 crime bill devastated our community, man. That 101 sentencing. And then they locked up all the black people for possessing or being on crack. But all the white folks that could afford the cocaine, they ain't mass incarcerate them. But see, I'm going to tell you something. I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to show you here, because later in this broadcast, I'm going to show you how that shit came back to bite them in the ass. So we're going to be thorough on this one tonight. But we're going to let this asshole right here speak, and I want you to pay attention to what she said back then.
Challenge is to take back our streets from crime, gangs, and drugs. And we have actually been making progress on this count as a nation because of what local law enforcement officials are doing, because of what citizens and neighborhood patrols are doing. We're making some progress. Much of it is related to the initiative called community policing, because we have finally gotten more police officers on the street. That was one of the goals that the president had when he pushed the crime bill that was passed in 1994. He promised 100,000 police. We're moving in that direction, but we can see it already makes a difference. Because if we have more police interacting with people, having them on the streets, we can prevent crimes. We can prevent petty crimes from turning into something worse. But we also have to have an organized effort against gangs. Just as in a previous generation we had an organized effort against the mob. We need to take these people on. They are often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. And the president has asked the FBI to launch a very concerted effort against gangs everywhere. In addition to that, he has appointed a new drug czar. You probably saw him Tuesday night. He's one of the most distinguished active military generals that we have in our country. He's already proven that he knows how to interdict drugs because of his command of the South American activity on behalf of the United States. But General McCaffrey will make a big difference, and I believe it is now time for all of us to know what we can do individually to be part of this anti-crime, anti-gangs, anti-drug effort.
Pardon for your son?
Now, let's deal with some of what that bitch said, okay? Yeah, I call them what they are, okay? That alabasters, all right? Let me tell you something, man. I remember the early 90s because I grew up in that time period, all right? Everybody was running around calling Bill Clinton the first black president. I wasn't one of them. I was kind of going against the grain on that. I'm like, no, okay, yeah, you like him and all of that, but he ain't one of us, okay? I was that kid. I was the spoiled sport. I was like, no, I can't go along with that bullshit. No. I mean, my family members will tell you, nope. I wasn't running around calling him the first black president because he co-signed this shit that this fucking demon you're looking at on the screen inflicted on our community with them damn crime bills. But see, dealing with what Hillary said, okay, so you heard her talking about they're going to go after all the gangs. I can't tell you don't go after these white supremacist gangs with no RICO charges. Huh? Talking about taking them on. See, here's the other thing. White America, if you're listening, this is your fucking problem. You have developed this mythological nonsense in your head that black people are responsible for everything that's wrong in the country. We commit all this crime and everything. And then most of the major crime is in your white suburbs. Where you think all the meth labs at? Oh, we're going to get into that a little bit later here too. And then they go in and mass incarcerate black people as if, okay, you lock up all the black people, and then the drugs are still coming across because you know why? It's your people in your community that have the planes that fly them across the border and have the major deals. Black folks weren't running shit like that. Very few and far in between would you find a black person with that type of money to do that. Okay? So instead of focusing on stopping the suppliers, nah, you focus on black people. Because, see, let me tell y'all something. The reason why they did that, and see, this is what should really offend you when you think about what I'm about to say. Our people have been most loyal to the Democrat Party for 6+ decades, like I said. The reason why they mass incarcerated black folks, they know everything that I just said. They know black people weren't responsible for flying that stuff over here. But see, they made political careers off of these things. Do you hear what I'm saying? In other words, they look at our people. They don't look at us as human beings with families that we love. Nah, they look at us as something to make political careers off of. You understand what I'm saying? So see, this is why you must know your recent history and understand how it correlates to present day. It all matters, okay? And see, the most informed young people that are going to be the futures of our people in this country, you have to know these things so that you don't let these people cozy up next to you and you thinking that they're your friend, okay? See, one thing that you got to understand that Brother Malcolm, my grandmaster teacher, may he rest in power, was trying to tell us about them damn liberals. They were like the sneaky foxes. The thing about the Republicans, at least they let you know where they stand. And in a war, you want to know where everything stands on the battlefield. You don't need double agents posing as if they're on your side and then they put a knife in your back. You know, and in the figurative sense, that's exactly what the Democrats have been. But see, I want y'all to listen to what this old wrinkled up bastard is about to say here, okay? Because I'm going to cover everything on this tonight. And when I get ready to take it into another direction here, we're going to show white America why all of this is a mistake. And see, notice that most of the white folks are quiet about that. They're not really making as much noise as they should be. It's a few Republicans saying some stuff here and there. It's a couple of Democrats saying some stuff, but they're not up in arms about it. You know why? Because, see, this is proof that no matter what they say about politics or which party they claim to be, Democrat, Republican, they all on team white supremacy, okay? Because, see, look, watch this. I'm going to go here with it because most people won't say this. Imagine if Joe Biden was Jesse Jackson or somebody like that and he was the president and he pardoned his black son that was committing the same crimes as Hunter. Oh, they would be in an uproar. You hear me? Yeah, you have to go there. You have to say these things and put it into context because you got to understand that when you're dealing with this system of white supremacy that we're in, you really do have to think about all these different parameters and the hypocrisy that they have so you understand what you're fighting against. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to let this old demon talk, though, because, see, we get a little bit further into it, it's going to be another person that I consider a grandmaster teacher that's going to really fill you in on a lot of the stuff that Hunter Biden was up on them charges for. And see, just looking at a lot of that stuff, I said, yeah, ain't no way in hell he going to sit there with the type of time his son was looking at. Because it was minor time. It wasn't like he won't go away for life in that, but that's a stain on them. See, let me say it this way. Prison is only for the niggers, okay? That's not for them. Oh, no, that's just for us. No matter what they people do, they little mass shooters and all of that, oh, that's just for us, okay? So I want y'all to listen to what this demon is about to say here, and then we're going to further critique this as it goes along.
Yes, I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well,
I just said no. I just answered.
When would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
You've said before that the president would not pardon his son. Is that still the case?
Nothing has changed. That is still the case. I could speak for the president, and he said he would not pardon his son.
Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
Now, you heard that, and that was Corinne Jean-Pierre, who is Haitian, by the way, another damn tilter that they get up there that has no honor to sit there and lie for them and just cover, okay? And see, here's the thing. I got to point this out. This is why I try to warn people about that first black stuff. And you better be very cautious when white folks are putting you as the first black in something that they could clearly give to a white person or that they've been traditionally given to a white person, and then all of a sudden they don't want it no more, but they want to put a black person in there, that's letting you know that they want to put a black person in it. And I don't care whether it's Democrat or Republican, they want to put a black person in that position because they're like, okay, we going to do some things and don't no white person need to be the fall flunky for this. So see, I'm going to tell y'all something you got to start looking out for. And you finna see this in January. Whether it's Karine Jean-Pierre, Letitia James, Alvin the Chipmunk Bragg up there in New York, Fannie the Mammy Willis down here in Atlanta, all them black flunkies that they sit up there, notice they ain't have no major white folks going after Trump to put them charges on it. All them black flunkies that they put up there, oh, he is coming. If they smart, they would just resign them positions and get up out the country for the next 4 years because he coming. I'm telling you, mark my words. First day, watch this. I'm going to show y'all something, right? I'm going to show you how accurate I am on reading the room with stuff. When the orange man's get in there, I guarantee you before March, some of the stuff I'm saying is going to happen. If not all of it. He coming for them. And see, let me go ahead and say this right now. I, for one, y'all have to make up your own mind, but I, for one, speaking for me, I'm not putting the cape on for none of them motherfuckers because they ain't helped black society in no way, in no shape, form, or fashion. They think about it. They went that hard in the paint to put all them charges on them folks, but man, here we are with the sister Sonia Massey. That son of a bitch, that race soldier just running around free on a bail, but you got the Diddler locked up, huh? Diddler didn't kill nobody that we can prove. And you know I'm no fan of the Diddler, okay? My point is this: if you're gonna have him locked up, why isn't that bastard Sean Grayson locked up? The way he brutally murdered that sister like that in her home, man. So what I'm saying is the hypocrisy is on display, but I'm gonna let a grandmaster teacher here break down some of the stuff that was going on with Hunter Biden. I want y'all to take notes on this in case you hadn't heard it, because this brother right here is on point with all of his stats, all of his information. So I'm not going to even interrupt this. I'm just going to let him speak. And then when we get to the latter part of the commentary, I'm going to thread the needle on how all this hypocrisy is going to come back to bite white America in their asses. Let's let it play.
Weeks later.
That didn't age very well, now did it? There's an old saying that adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. 2 weeks ago, Mika the Bigot Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough, after several years of back and forth with Trump, and at least as many years of claiming that he's a wannabe dictator, turned on a dime, and behind their viewers' backs, slithered off to Mar-a-Lago to bend the knee to the Orange Man. Whatever happened to all of their morals? Whatever happened to all of their standards? Did they forget what he is and what he had done? Go back and watch the video that I did about this. I started by showing you how Mika was on The View just before the election, saying that this was going to be the end of American democracy, and the only sane thing to do was to oppose Trump. You can't compromise with a dictator. And then a few weeks later, she was explaining that you have to talk to dictators and find areas where you can compromise. This is what for white supremacy passes for morals and ethics. White supremacy has no morals or ethics. It has no principles. All it has is moral relativism and situational ethics. The old, I'm white and I say so.
For those that don't know, everybody should know in these spaces, but I just thought I may need to announce who this is. For those that don't know, if you're a younger person, who you hear speaking here is the brother named Professor Black Truth. You need to be subscribed to his channel. If you enjoy my content and my information, let me tell you something. That brother is on it. He's been doing this for over 15 plus years. And if you want great information on a daily basis, you need to catch his Moment of Truth, the video essays that he does on 5 days a week, okay? Catch that information. So the brother that's speaking, his name is Professor Black Truth, okay? You should be subscribed to his channel. And I promise you, that will bring you up to speed on a great deal about how things are working in this system of white supremacy. So we're going to let the professor get back to explaining this. And I want y'all to prepare to take notes on this in case you didn't already hear this. Let it continue.
Whatever they say on Monday, they'll say something else on Tuesday, then something else entirely different on Wednesday, and then on Thursday go back to whatever is on Monday, because it's all about whatever is expedient to their power in the moment. And if that changes day by day, then so be it. White power will pretend to abide by its own rules, we'll call them laws, and its alleged principles right up until the moment that things don't go their way. Then after that, they'll abandon all of it on the spot. But you know what? Mika and Joe aren't the only ones feeling the heat. Joe Biden's under pressure too. With Trump's imminent return to the White House, and with him front-loading the FBI with hardcore ideologues, and with Republicans controlling the Senate and the House, but most importantly the Senate, the Orange Man is going to be holding all the cards come Inauguration Day. And after being made to endure all manner of investigations, prosecutions, lawsuits, and humiliation, it's understandable if the most vindictive man in politics decides to give his political enemies a taste of the same. Now, the easiest target among the Democrats would obviously not be a politician at all, but rather one of their kids, in this case, Hunter Biden. The white right have been focused on him for years because he's dumb and lazy. I guess it runs in the family. Now, in case you're new to my morning briefings, Hunter Biden was convicted in June of this year on 3 felony charges related to an application for a gun that he bought some years back. On paper, he could have been looking at many years in prison. But as the son of a president, it's inconceivable that he'd get more than a few years, that is, if he got put in prison at all. And why was he looking at prison time? Because he had already pleaded guilty to tax evasion earlier, so he wasn't a first-time offender. While he was running, or rather shuffling for president this year, Biden was repeatedly asked about whether he would pardon Hunter Biden should he be convicted. Even Karine Stank-Pierre was asked about it at the White House press briefings. And both Biden and Pierre repeatedly said no. Biden himself said that he would respect the jury's verdict, whatever it was. That's what he was saying at the time, but of course, as with everything else Biden has said, that was a lie. Hunter Biden hasn't even been sentenced yet, by the way, but that didn't stop Biden from issuing a full, complete, all-pervasive pardon for his little felon. Biden's pardon covers all offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. Now keep in mind that period of time covers a lot more than just the period of tax dodging and coke-fueled gun purchases that Hunter was making. This pardon goes all the way back to Barack Obama's second term, 2014, and that's significant for one reason. Hunter Biden joined the board of the Ukrainian gas company Burisma Holdings in April of 2014, during Obama's second term when Joe Biden was his vice president. And what this pardon also does by having that time frame listed, it proves that Joe Biden was lying all these years when he claimed that he didn't know anything about his son's dirty business dealings in Ukraine. This pardon proves that not only did he know, he and Hunter have talked about it. That's how he was able to give such a specific time frame. Bigot Biden crafted a pardon that would specifically encompass the entire time that Hunter was dealing with Burisma. And if you think Biden hasn't been getting any of that Ukrainian money, you're an idiot. The last 30 days of any presidential administration are notorious for being a time when presidents hand out pardons like so much government cheese to the biggest crooks in federal prison, and Biden has proven to be no exception. Now, Biden and his sycophants have been screaming that, well, he had to do it after all. This was all a political witch hunt. It was all political, don't you know? The only reason Hunter was even being investigated was as a way to attack Biden during his presidential campaign. Well, let me tell you what actually happened. Hunter Biden had already confirmed to the feds that he was dodging taxes in December of 2020. This was shortly after Biden had been elected. As the son of a former vice president, he was given special treatment. 2 years probation is the terms of his plea deal, and they were also working out a plea deal on the gun charges that he was looking at too, which also would have included no jail time. The tax evasion plea deal went smoothly enough, but things fell apart in June of last year when it was time to finalize the gun charges plea deal. The judge on the case, who was a Trump nominee, was very skeptical of the deal, feeling that it was highly unusual, and she was very reticent about signing off on it. As a result, Merrick Garland felt compelled to name a Trump-nominated U.S. attorney as special counsel, and Hunter Biden was indicted on 3 felony charges. First, for lying to a federally licensed gun dealer by claiming on the application form that he wasn't a drug user. The second charge was for the actual submission of the fraudulent application to the gun dealer, and the third was for Hunter Biden possessing the gun for 11 days despite knowing he was a drug addict. Hunter Biden's not the only.
So now, you heard the professor cooking, man, and when the professor get to cooking, I don't like to interrupt him at all when I share any of his content, because if you want to hear the full version of that, go to Professor Black Truth's channel and take a good listen to that moment of truth, okay? He broke all of that down from the A-row to the zero, and I want to include that portion right here in tonight's broadcast so that you will see the preferential treatment that they give their kids. And look, here's the thing. They don't even have to be the sons and daughters of presidents or senators or congressmen or mayors. Oh, no, they get that treatment in regular, everyday society. Yes, they do. Think about it. Everybody in here, no matter where you from in this country, you probably know about a group of white kids or whatever, where you from, that just raised all kind of hell, getting into stuff. You probably went to school with some of them, college with some of them. And man, it seems like they never do any jail time. Nothing serious anyway. You know why? Let me tell you something. See, in a system of white supremacy, you can fail up. You got all kinds of safety nets under you, not just one, several safety nets. Because see, the average white person, even if they're not in any high-level government position or anything like that, they're related to the people that are. You see what I'm saying? Most of us are not. Okay? So when our black sons and daughters go out and do things for the first time and commit a first offense, something minor, they ain't kill nobody, nothing like that, oh man, they can't get that preferential treatment. They throw the book at our children, huh? In fact, we don't even have children according to them. They're all adults, even if they 10, 12 years old, huh? Yeah, we going there. But see, I'm going to show you something, though. White America, here's where your problem come in at. Because, see, why you let that crackhead Hunter Biden and the rest of the little cokehead kids over there, because they look, he's not the only one. He's just the one that they caught and they got in the news. Most of them folks up there on Capitol Hill kill their kids. They are the biggest junkies and criminals it is. They just sweep their dirt up under the rug, okay? I'm going to show you what's going to come back to bite you in the ass, though, white America, because, see, yeah, you sit up here and you've done this to my community for years, but, boy, look at what you're dealing with now with that opioid crisis in this country. Oh, we going to talk about it. Yes, we are. I'm going to show you what they're dealing with right now, but it's going to affect them for generations to come. And, see, let me say this before we get into that. This is why I encourage all black people, whether you FBA or non-FBA, stay off them damn drugs unless you got some type of chronic illness, chronic pain, or something like that. If it's just you going about managing the daily stress of life, there's ways to deal with that. I was talking about that prior, okay, on a couple other broadcasts. Listen, for some people it's music, some people it's going fishing, some people it's reading, some people it's exercise. Everybody got something that you can naturally do to relieve stress. You don't want to become overly reliant or dependent upon getting high or alcohol. I get it. I know we probably got some people in here, you do them things. All your brother is saying to you is, don't let whatever you're doing get control of you to the point that you lose yourself and it starts to affect your life. Because, see, they'll give their folks treatment. They want to mass incarcerate you, okay? So I'm saying that out of love. I'm not preaching to you, not talking down on you. Got respect for everybody that subscribe over here to my channel. That comes in respect. I have to say these things to my people because they target us. We don't get the preferential treatment or consideration that they won't give to their folks. But see, you finna see why that's cost them. Because instead of them actually doing what I said earlier in the broadcast and dealing with the people that are the suppliers that's bringing it over here in large quantities, and you was focusing on locking up black folks, we finna look at what this did to their community. Let's get started.
After decades of improvement, the life expectancy of white people in America has taken a troubling downward turn. Experts.
Salute to my good brother Black Voltron Reloaded in here. My good sister Tam Chan, the lieutenant in here. I see y'all, 225 girl. A couple of people just joining. I'll try to acknowledge y'all, but I want to pause this real quick. You heard how he started off his comments, right? Now, I want you to pay attention to a theme that's going to come up here later on in the broadcast. I'm not going to point out yet because I have a very astute audience. I want to see if y'all catch this. I'll be looking in the chat room to see if you catch it. But you hear what his main concern is, okay, starting off, okay? Now, they don't really talk like this anymore with this problem because, see, they're trying to use another tactic when it comes to dealing with this. And I'm not going to point it out just yet. I'm going to see if some of y'all catch it. If I don't see any of y'all catch it in the chat room, I'm going to point it out to you, okay? So I'm going to let him get back to it. And I want you to take notes of what he's about to say.
Say that the situation is due in great part to the opioid epidemic. Those bearing a huge brunt, white, middle-aged women. Only on 5, Alan Martin reports they're getting hooked faster and are suffering more.
The pain medication, it just went click, and I said, wow, that feels good.
Laura kept her drug use a secret.
I noticed that, maybe I was a little more short-tempered, or I didn't have as much patience. And then I'd get the prescription, and suddenly everything seemed to flow a little bit better in my house. And, I was taking care of 3 small kids, and it's a lot of work, and it's very crazy at times.
It started off with prescription opioids for an injured tailbone. Before she knew it, the housewife was hooked. She always got her drugs legally.
I would exaggerate.
Now, let me go ahead and pause it right here because I got to interject, because they want to try to run this game where, she got her drugs legally. Let me tell you something. See, white America, one of y'all biggest problems in this nation is you lie to yourself constantly. Family, don't you know that even if she hurt herself like they're saying, and that may be true, when they start abusing the drugs like that, they've had a culture of doing that throughout their childhood. Watch this. The truth is going to hurt, but I'm going to tell it over here tonight. We got people in this chat room right now from all different parts of the country, okay? How many of us went to school with them and college with them and we saw them getting high as a damn kite? Come to school fucked up. Come to college plastered and fucked up. My point that I'm making is this ain't our first rodeo abusing drugs. But see, they have to paint that image like they're just so perfect and so innocent. The problem with that is when you lie to yourself, you can't really solve or fix a problem until you deal with the truth of it. That's the problem. And see, let me say this to my sisters. My dear beloved sisters, listen to me. I get it. I'm not telling you to live the life of a nun, okay, in some type of convent or anything like that. But the one thing I don't want to see y'all doing is out here doing their drugs, popping all these pills and getting high and all that bullshit. Please don't do that. I'm going to tell you why. I'm thinking strategy. This is going to sound cold-blooded than a motherfucker, but I done told y'all, I don't give a damn what happened to their people. But they don't care what happened to mine. My primary concern is Foundation of Black American Freedmen and our own Code None FBA brothers and sisters. Let me talk to you sisters for a minute, and the brothers, of course, but I really want to stress this on the women since they're talking about her in particular. Reason why I don't want y'all being hooked on drugs and alcohol like that, I want you to think about this. Suppose that you turn that around and you don't have that dependency like they do on certain things, okay? And you use those things in moderation as far as your alcohol. And though I don't, co-sign or condone it, if you're smoking weed or whatever, hopefully you stay off them hard drugs, okay? But if you're dealing with the minor stuff, you think about using that in moderation or not at all. And then your counterparts, which are your natural enemies, they're the ones that's left strung out. Do you see the tactical advantage that gives you when you think about it from a warfare standpoint? You get what I'm saying? Huh? That's what I want y'all to think about here, okay? So we're going to get back to this report, and I want y'all to really let that resonate, okay? Let's get back to it.
My pain symptoms to the doctor, and I had a doctor who was sympathetic.
Laura is one of the many Americans swept up in the worst drug addiction epidemic in U.S. history. But she's the new face of those bearing much of the brunt. White, middle-aged, and female.
In fact, white, middle-aged women have had the biggest increase in overdose deaths.
The epidemic is growing every year. It's driven by overexposing people to powerful painkillers. Those affected the most, middle-aged whites. Those most likely to die, middle-aged white women.
What on earth is going on with these white, middle-aged white people?
Dr. Andrew Kolodny is a leading expert on opioid addiction. He recently spoke at a symposium held by the California Healthcare Foundation. He has a theory why this epidemic is so white.
I think it relates to the way in which doctors prescribe narcotics.
Kolodny says doctors are more likely to prescribe opioids to whites than blacks. Several studies in...
Oh, let's pause that right there. White America. Yeah, I got to call you out. You see how anti-black racism and white supremacy come back to bite you in your ass because, see, what they just said, that's your problem right there. Black people in legitimate pain, you don't really want to give us any pain medication when we need it. Okay, now, for me, I want our people to stay healthy so we don't have to be in these damn hospitals unless it's some type of emergency or something like that. But even when we have to go, all of us know that that's true all across this nation, okay? In fact, if you go back and you know your history on that, they've done all types. The racism has been in the medical industry for years, okay? If you're not familiar with Medical Apartheid by Harriet A. Washington, you need to get that book. That's Medical Apartheid by Harriet A. Washington. I know the older people are familiar with that book, but some of the younger people that are over here trying to get knowledge, they may not know it, so that's why I repeated that. Medical Apartheid by Harriet A. Washington. Get that book and read it from cover to cover. Reason why you want to read that, in that book, it covers how going back to the beginnings of the medical industry, okay, there's been racism. They don't think we feel pain the same because I keep telling y'all, they don't look at us as human beings. That's not something that we say in these spaces to be hyperbolic. But see now, fast forwarding here to present day, look how that has cost them. They want to just give preferential treatment to white folks and everything, but they're the main ones abusing the drugs. And see, I'm going to go ahead and say this for free. White folks, maybe this will help you out. You're getting a free one over here because I know you're listening. The reason why you have such a drug epidemic and crisis in your community, okay, I should be charging you for this, okay? But I know you're listening, so I'm just going to throw this out here for free. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why I'm saying it. Because you ain't going to really be able to turn it around because of the way your nature is. You can't help yourselves. The reason why y'all have this drug addiction in your community, when you at the top of the food chain and you don't value life or respect anything, you know what happens? You don't respect yourselves. See, for the most part, most black people, we respect our lives. Case in point, I got to go here. I'm going to be somewhat facetious with it, but this is going to fit right into this lesson tonight. You don't see black folks going over here and jumping off mountains, skydiving and bungee jumping and all that type of stuff like that. We like, yeah, let them folks go have that. Now, you got some silly black folks today that will try to join in, but they're in the extreme minority. For the most part, we value and protect our lives, okay? They take all kinds of goofy risks and do all types of stupidity. And see, when it comes to playing around with them drugs, let me tell you something, man. All you got to do is just look at how it's tearing their asses up. It's destroying them. And see, here's the thing. When you don't have any consequences in place, you put all the consequences on the black people, then you ignore what's going on in your community. It's just like sweeping dirt on the road. The more you sweep under there, it doesn't make the dirt disappear. It just makes a lump under that damn road. And you still got a problem. So until you get real and deal with your problem, it's just going to continue to get worse and worse. And then it starts to affect the main reproducers of your generation here. And so you got a double whammy coming at you. Your white women, they don't want to have them babies like that. They big on pushing that deletion. That's why so many of them are mad that commandment laws. Okay, a good portion of them, all right? They're mad about that. That's why they was mad when the orange man was even talking about doing anything with the abortion issue, though he turned it over to the states. So you got that. Most of your women don't want to have your babies. Then they taking care of that problem from both ends because a lot of these drugs, it sterilizes them. Did y'all know that about these opioids and this fentanyl? The prolonged use of that, it will sterilize you, okay? So, man, let me tell you something. I'm going to say it to you like this. When you target God's children, you touching his eyeball. You better read those scriptures that you claim to know so well since y'all sit up in your little white churches and say that you serving the same God because you're not serving the one that I serve. You better look at what he said about touching and harming his children. And he's been patient long enough, and now you starting to get the judgment cast upon you. You ain't got to believe me. You don't have to believe nothing I say. Look at what's happening to you. This is beyond your control to fix. I don't care if you're an atheist or not. Y'all not going to fix this no time soon until you do right by God's children. But see, you're a stubborn, hard-headed, obstinate people, and you sit here and tend to think that you can defy the will of the Most High. But see, he's going to show you better than I can tell you at all. Let's let it continue.
Prestigious medical journals back him up.
The doctor may be more concerned about the patient getting addicted if they're black, or maybe they're more concerned about the patient selling their pills if they're black. And if the patient is white, they're prescribing as if there's nothing at all to be worried about.
Yeah, and see, that's the main problem. Y'all see, he just said the quiet part out loud. And see, this is an older report. They don't really like to talk like this no more. We're going to get into why. And salute to the good brother 400 for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good man. But see, that mindset right there,
Listen to all that stuff he said. Well, we're worried about black people are going to probably abuse them. They're going to sell their pills. Your people created the market for all of that as far as those drugs like that. Listen, if they were serious about stopping this opioid crisis, not only would they crack down on the people that's shipping it over here in planes and boats, which are not black folks, you would crack down on all these doctors that's making their little money off on their little side market there, selling the prescription stuff to these folks. Y'all ever heard of the term doctor shopping? Huh? Yeah, but see, you know, it's all black people that's just, we creating all of that. We ain't in control of none of them industries, ain't got access to that. And if you are a black doctor, you try to take anything out of something. You take one pill out of somewhere and that shit ain't on inventory. They coming after you. They ain't doing that to the little white doctors, though. So see, white America, you keep playing your games. You sit here, you got Joe Biden, he done pardoned his crackhead son here. But see, I'm extrapolating the issue out further beyond Joe Biden's son, little Hunter Big Rocks Biden, okay? Hey, if you want to see a funny YouTube short, go type in Hunter Big Rocks Biden on my channel and see what pulls up. Boy, y'all laugh your ass off. Fact of business, I'll put it in the chat as we let this continue.
I think is happening is that racial stereotyping is having a protective effect for non-white populations. Obviously, we should be prescribing cautiously to all of our patients.
In addition, women are more likely to see a doctor, get a prescription painkiller at a higher dose, and to use them long term. Dr. Kolodny says these drugs are actually lousy for chronic use.
There's even evidence that taking opioids regularly can make pain worse.
Laura was also abusing alcohol, but she's now almost 4 months sober. At first, she was ashamed to get treatment.
The shame.
Now, I'm going to pause this real quick, okay? Because I want y'all to take a good look at this woman's face. Now, I'm going to ask a question. We need some audience participation here because I got to see what y'all think. I got to see if it's just me or if y'all see what I'm seeing. I paused it on the screen here for a reason. I should have paused on the last one, but this one will do. This shot right here will do. Family, does this look like a woman, an alabaster woman, or as I like to call them, an alabastress? Does this alabastress look like she just started doing drugs at the time they was mentioning this report? Because, I mean, I want you to think back to your college years. Listen, let me tell y'all something, man. A lot of the reason why the bed bugs like to kick it with the white girls, they know how to party now when it comes to the drugs and that alcohol. Just get stone cold shit faced. Y'all done seen them. If you ever went to any college where they was at, boy, shit. They drink as if they don't understand that they actually have livers attached to them, okay? Maybe they don't, for all we know. Does she look like she just got started, though? I want to see what y'all say in the chat room, huh? Take a good look at under them eyes. Look at how they bugged out. Look at them face, because you know they already aged like they on spoiled bananas and shit anyway. But see, this is extra drug use on top of that. She got that look in her eye. I recognize it, man. All of us should if you ever been around them. So I bring it up just to say, man, they said over at the beginning, she gets all her pills legally. Nah, she been abusing them drugs. I guarantee you, if you go where she at, where she's from, and just ask around with some people, especially she went to college, man, shit. That was probably the white chick behind them bleachers getting the train ran on by the football team. Oh, yeah, you know your white boys don't like that image. But you know how y'all girls get down. Yeah, you know how your women get down. So, yeah, all I'm saying is, this ain't our first rodeo with these drugs, man. Let's let it continue.
Comes from when you're in your active addiction. I'm somebody who had a problem and I decided to do something about it. There's no shame in that.
Some accidental overdoses occur when women mix alcohol with prescription opiates. It's a deadly combination. Alan Martin, KPIX5.
This epidemic is affecting all Americans, no matter their race, ethnicity, or age.
Oh, no, you don't, buddy. Now comes the portion of the broadcast where I point out what I said I was going to point out. Y'all heard what he just said? Now, see, this is something I have to really make sure I drill down with our people. And this drug problem is affecting all Americans, no matter their race or their age. No, because at the beginning, white man, you told the truth. And see, again, pay attention to what I said. You don't hear them talking like he was talking in the beginning, where they actually tell you the truth. And no, it's affecting your community the most. It's not affecting black folks in large numbers, but see, here's the reason why they do that. Anytime something is majorly affecting mostly them, they have to make it everybody's problem. You hear what I'm saying? Because let me tell you why they do that, in case a lot of young black people don't understand. A large part of them maintaining systematic white supremacy here is to play mind games with us, okay? They feed us misinformation and education. And one of the things, when they're experiencing crisis, they don't want you to see them as weak. So they say, hey, this is not just our problem, black people, it's everybody's problem. And that's when you start to hear the terms, it disproportionately affects this, that, and the third. All you have to do is look around. Most of us don't know nobody that has no fentanyl addiction or no opioid addiction. Most of us don't. Even right now, even though some of these people, now, we gotta be honest, some of our children, okay, some of the young black people will be popping these pills. We're going to get into later in this broadcast here coming up why that's dangerous, okay, because I want to show y'all why it's not a game for you to be out here with your white friends doing the drugs they doing. Let that be their problem, okay? Don't go past a little bit of alcohol and some weed, all right? If that's what you just got to do it, even though I don't want you to do it, just stay on the safe end of things, all right? And then be careful where you getting that from, okay? Because they lacing this stuff with all kinds of chemicals and things. And as far as drinking, all of you should know, if you're going to be kicking it with your so-called white friends, I get it. This is the most integrated generation we've ever had. Don't drink nothing that you didn't open yourself. Bring your own bottle. Fact of business, that's the safest thing to do, all right? Because they like to play little jokes on people, be putting stuff in things just to see how fucked up you're going to get. And then if it's something you can't handle and it take you out of here, ain't none of them going to prison for it. They're going to all cover for each other, okay? But see, just pay close attention to that psychological tactic that they will use with anything. See, let me give y'all another rule of thumb, too. When you hear them talking about, oh, it's everybody's problem like that, first thing you need to do is take a step back and actually look at the real information on stuff. Like, wait a minute, no, it's not. It's affecting your community. You scared shitless, so you want to make us think that, okay, you not in as much trouble as you in. Yeah, that's where I'm going. See, that's why they don't like me. I keep telling y'all, I'm the rebellious slave. And I have a duty to make sure that my people also inherit that same spirit of rebellion if you don't already have it in you. And most of you over here, you definitely have it in you, okay? So we're going to continue further analyzing why them trying to enact crime bills on us and over-criminalize us for these little minor offenses, we're going to further show exactly how this coming back to bite them today.
We are in the midst of the worst drug crisis in U.S. history. The drug is fentanyl, and unlike cocaine and heroin, it's a purely chemical, man-made drug. It's cheap to produce, easily smuggled, and packs an incredibly addictive punch, 50 times more powerful than heroin. Nearly all the fentanyl flooding into the U.S. is made in Mexico by two powerful drug cartels, with chemicals primarily purchased from China. And as you're
Now, let me pause, my good brother, right here now on this very channel. Y'all remember the let me see how many of y'all remember this broadcast I did. Y'all remember the broadcast I did where I showed you how the partnership in the drug game is working between Mexico and China? Y'all remember that broadcast? It's still up over here on my channel. If you didn't catch that, that will give you a thorough education on what's really going on, because as seasoned as this brother is here, this journalist, this is the one that gave commandment at work, by the way. He left out all the stuff that I covered. Y'all remember that broadcast? It's up here on the channel. You can't miss the thumbnail. Go back and look up that broadcast, you know, in your spare time, about how Mexico and China have partnered together. And see, I'm going to briefly touch on this for the younger people, because I always try to keep y'all in mind. I understand that some of this stuff may go over their heads if they're not well versed in it. And I'm not saying that you're stupid. I would never do that and call you stupid like Command did. But I want to point out some information that you young ones may not be aware of if you're listening. The reason why Mexico and China join forces for the cartel and the triad, you got to understand that they're aware of white America's weakness, their greed. Their greed and that desire for drugs. Because, see, people can say, oh, it's morally wrong. Why would you do us like that? Well, first of all, look what you've done to people around the globe throughout history. And now that they found your Achilles heel, your greed in these drugs, yeah, you damn right they're going to exploit that. And see, now what people are starting to do on the world stage in a number of ways, not just the drugs, they're starting to partner up and say, you know what? It's been the bully on the big bully on the playground for the longest and so many number of years. I couldn't beat him by myself. You couldn't beat him by yourself. But maybe if we join forces, we can whoop this bully's ass. Yeah, that's why they're looking at you, white America. They're looking at you as food, just like you were looking at black folks. The people that are the most patriotic in this country is Black Americans. The people that have saved this country time and time again have been Black Americans. Yet no matter what we do, you treat us as if we're the enemy. We're not doing these things to you that these other countries are doing. Huh? Oh yeah, I'm going there with it. So I want y'all to pay close attention to this report right here, because he's going to get deep off in this. And a lot of y'all may learn some of this stuff for the first time. Get back into it.
About to hear, it is frequently hidden in counterfeit pills made to look just like prescription drugs. It's the scourge of our time. Last year, more than 70,000 Americans died from fentanyl. That's a higher death toll than U.S. military casualties in Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan combined.
How many of y'all knew that information that he just shared with you? Because he's actually spot on the money about those numbers. How many of y'all knew that? See, a lot of times when they talk about that opioid crisis or the opioid pandemic, whatever you want to call it, a lot of times we don't really take into totality the numbers and how massive a problem it is for them, okay? He's right about that. That's how severe this situation is. But see, here's the thing for us. Out of those numbers that he quoted, very few of them are Black folks in our community. Look, and I got to go here. I got to tell the truth. For the Black people that it is affected, you know who is affected the most? The damn tether class that want to jump over there. You want to do everything the white people do. You start doing drugs with them. You think it's going to draw you closer to them and make you accepted by them. Those are the ones that's overdosing on this stuff. Most of us got something like, man, you crazy as hell. I'm not putting that. Like, whatever you got going on. See, look, let me tell you something I know. I don't have no drug habits or none of that, okay? Time to time, I'll have a little wine here or there, but that's few and far in between. Let me tell you something. For the most part, all of us can bear witness on this no matter what part of the country you're from. If you go to a function or something like that, and you see them folks doing whatever they doing, drinking whatever they drink, you be like, nah, I'm cool, bro. I don't even want that. And don't tell them what you got going on. Most Black people are like that. Most Black folks that are violating sins. Like, nah, bro, I ain't see you roll this. I don't know what you got in here, man. And then all you do is sit back and they start acting crazy as hell, fighting amongst each other. And see, let me further say something about this too to the younger Black folks. If nobody in your family has already told you, let me tell you something. You got to be very careful hanging around your white friends when they get white boy or white girl wasted, because that's when they're not in their right frame of mind. If you the only Black person there, or it's only a few y'all there, I don't care how fucked up they are, they all want to start trying to do shit to the Black person because they outnumber you, okay? So you better watch that, all right? But I want y'all to listen to this right here because, see, white America, this is your hypocrisy on display, and this is going to be your problem. You don't see Black families up here sounding like these people about to sound. This is your government's problem because instead of actually dealing with it, like I said earlier in the broadcast, all you did was try to scapegoat it and pointed it towards as if Black Americans are the sole reason why the problem is over here. Boy, you can't make this up. Let's let it continue.
To fentanyl, we thought fentanyl, you hear about it, but you think, oh, that's just affecting people on the streets, homeless people, drug addicts. No, it is so insidious.
Angela King and Mike O'Kelly lost their 20-year-old son Jack to fentanyl last Thanksgiving. A junior at the University of Georgia, Jack had come home for the long weekend and was out late partying.
He was at a friend's house, so I had gone to bed, a little worried.
The next morning, he couldn't reach Jack, so he used Find My iPhone.
When I could see where he was, I texted the mother of the house, who basically sent me a message back, oh, we're not there, door's unlocked, they're asleep.
At 11 o'clock Thanksgiving morning, Mike went upstairs and found his son in bed, unresponsive.
I noticed his chest wasn't moving, so immediately pulled him out of the bed. I had performed CPR for 30 plus minutes.
Mike called me and screaming in the phone, Jack's gone, Jack's gone. And I immediately rushed over there with one of our children, and the EMT had arrived and was working on Jack upstairs. And it was the most horrific, traumatic. There's not words.
Now let me pause it right here, because as tragic as their situation is, we must get the lesson out of it for our community. We have to. Black parents, you better pay attention to this, because see, even though we're in the most integrated society we've ever seen, this is what your black children's peers are doing, okay? This is not a one-off. It's unfortunate that they lost their son, but again, you got to look at the reasons why this problem is so pervasive, particularly in their community amongst their youth. And see, white America, I'm going to give you another freebie here tonight. I'm being extra nice here tonight, because really I shouldn't be telling you this without you paying me. If I was a white man in America and I had any type of power in their society, there's one thing that could probably turn your situation around. I shouldn't even say it to you, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. If I was y'all, I would be actually investing funds into promoting more of the straight edge culture in your society. Because if you know anything about those straight edges, yes, we understand that they have anti-black viewpoints, but I'm talking about for their community. You would pour money into trying to promote that because they're anti-drug and alcohol. Okay, the ones of them that are really serious, that's what you need to be doing, because if you don't turn this thing around, you're over here looking at black people trying to oppress us and deprive us of resources, man, the numbers are dwindling. Let me run down the short list of your problems, okay? Your women don't want to have your babies. These drugs are making them infertile. The pandemic knocked off a large portion of your numbers. Believe it or not, no matter what lie they tell, they have the highest HIV and AIDS rates in the country. Okay, so that's 4 things right there. And then on top of everything that I just said, they still hold the highest rates for deleting themselves up out of here. Then number 6, let's add this one here too. Here's the other wild card factor. On top of everything, them 5 things I just said, the other thing you have to look at, their children running up here, shooting up their schools, and they mostly target their children. You see what I'm saying? So now those are 6 things. Hey, the sands of time are turning against you. But nah, they all only want to focus on black people. We not responsible for none of them things none of them 6 things I just named that they're gonna have to deal with, huh? And are dealing with right now. The time is speeding up. You on the genetic chopping block of history, and it look like you finna be out of here. Because as we know, like I said, math doesn't care about anybody's feelings. Once a population's reproduction rate goes below that 1.5 per child, okay? Yeah, you on your way out. You on your way out. And see, thank your boy Jim Crow Joe for letting all these illegal aliens over here, because see, I know what he was thinking. See, y'all got to understand the reason why he was telling them bootlicks at that meeting. Y'all gonna have to get more used to working with Hispanics. They make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do. The reason why he was saying that, he thought he was being slick to try to boost up these white numbers by importing these white Hispanics in here. Here's the problem, white folks, and don't listen to me. You better look at biological and genetic science, because you have the weakest and most recessive genes on the planet. And anything that you procreate with that has the slightest amount of melanin in it, it's not going to come out Caucasian, not like you want. Now, you can try to medio de la raza, like some of the white folks, the Hispanic white folks say, and whiten up the race, but that's going to take you a generation or 2. You don't really have that kind of time. So that was a very foolish strategy on Jim Crow Joe Biden's part. But see, when you do what you've done to God's children, my people, foundational Black American freedmen, for as long as you have, this is why you where you are. And I'm going to tell you again, ain't going to be nothing you can do to undo the hands of justice that are turning against you, because it's long overdue. Let's let it continue.
Jack O'Kelly was captain of his high school football and lacrosse teams. He was studying business at Georgia and was a popular member of his fraternity. Have you been able to piece together why take a pill? Was this his first time?
I think he was just out having a good time and made a stupid mistake.
You know, the experimental days.
I'm going to go here, Because see, this reminds me of that old commercial. And for a lot of you younger people, you probably won't remember this commercial. You'll probably have to YouTube it and look it up so you can see it. But a lot of y'all remember that old commercial? Back when they had the Dare campaign going in the 80s. Yeah, I know you young people, boy, y'all don't know nothing about this, but you're going to learn something here. And you can YouTube what I'm saying. Okay, pull it up and watch the campaigns for yourself. But y'all remember that commercial where, and I mentioned this on my last broadcast, where, you know, the white father walked in, saw his kids smoking or doing drugs or something like that. And he asked the child where he learned it from. He's like, I learned it from watching you, Dad. Yeah, I'm wondering, did their son see them with a drug habit in the house that they probably thought they were doing it when he couldn't see it or what have you? I mean, we got to ask these questions. These people, they don't have the sober, perfect households like a lot of these goofy tethers think. These people got all kinds of stuff going on in their homes, man. So I just got to throw that out there. I wonder, was that a part of the inspiration? And see, let me talk to my people for a minute. One of the ways that you can deter your child from getting on drugs like that in the first place, again, this is why I say encouraging a family exercise routine of some type of nature, but if not individually, when children start to see what a wonderful gift that their bodies are, take it from somebody that has lived this. The reason why I don't do no types of drugs and things like that, I love this body that I'm in. It is amazing. You understand me? I know this sounds like I'm being arrogant and bragging. I'm just telling y'all, man, this is a wonderful gift and I appreciate it, okay? I'm telling you right now, man, I am in the condition of a damn superhero, all right? Now, I know you're like, oh, he being foolish. So no, you just don't understand. Man, listen, that is a wonderful gift to have your health. Listen, I don't take no blood pressure medication. I don't have no conditions, high cholesterol, none of that. I am in the picture of health. Knock on wood, praise the Most High for it. And I'm going to stay that way as long as he allows me to. I try to eat right. I exercise regularly, okay? I don't have no drug habits. I'm not drinking excessive alcohol. When you take care of your body, it takes care of you, okay? And to you young ones, I get it. I know I'm the old nigga on the broadcast, okay? But listen to me because I love you and I want you to have a very long life, a productive life, and a healthy life. Give you some advice that an elder gave me when I was in my teens. He said, son, I'm going to tell you like this. Take care of yourself because see what you do in your 20s, you're going to pay for it in your 30s. Do in your 30s, you're going to pay for it in your 40s, so on, etc. Whatever you put your body through, the type of wear and tear, especially chemically, you're going to pay for it later on down the line, okay? Take care of yourself, and your body will take care of you back, all right? Let's let it continue.
Taking drugs in college are over. They're all, all the pills are laced with fentanyl.
Mike and Angela found text messages between Jack and a drug dealer. He bought what he thought was Xanax, oxycodone, and a gram of cocaine, but the death certificate states fentanyl was the cause of death.
Now, see, this is the important part that I want our people to remember right here. And you're right, Brother Black Voltron. Like you said, sports and drugs don't mix, and you can't be good at both. You got to choose which one you want to be good at, like the Brother Black Voltron just said. And see, in conjunction to that, like I said earlier, for the young ones that's out there and you are popping these pills, you don't know what you're dealing with. You might be on one thing, but it could be fentanyl. Because, see, I covered this in the last broadcast that I did where I was showing the connection between the Mexico and China and Chinese cartels. What they're doing is a lot of this stuff that you think is one thing, they're putting fentanyl in it, okay, because it's cheap to make. Okay, look, you know what? There's a broadcast I'm going to have to do. And I was going to do that on Patreon, but I think I'm going to do this on the main channel. And it's going to be dealing with different effects of these drugs out here because I want my people to have accurate information on this. And I don't really see a whole lot of people talking about it other than just a cursory mention of it. But I really want y'all to understand the mechanics of this stuff. So for you young people out here that, you're doing your pills and all of that, please be careful. We don't want you taken away from us at an early age. See, let me say this to the young folks because I know it's different kinds of young people listening to this, all right? I want you to live long enough to be able to mock the old Negro on the microphone. Like, man, you remember that dude Shark was always talking about good health, this, that, third. I want you to be alive to do it. You get to popping these pills, you won't be here like this because you better look at what happened to their son. And look, I'm not mocking their son's death. I hate that happened. But again, the overlying problem is their community sat there and ignored what the main problem was and how it was coming into the country, and then you mass incarcerated black people. It wasn't no treatment options available for our people in the early 90s. All we had was Jim Crow Joe Biden's 94 crime bill. But as you see, his crime bill doesn't apply to his son, okay? And white folks that don't have that type of power, you better pay attention to what I'm saying too, because you probably know somebody, if you hadn't already dealt with what they're dealing with here in this broadcast. The loss of a child, and see, that's something that no parent should ever have to do, is experience burying your children. It's supposed to be the other way around, okay? So we're going to make sure that our community over here in Black America get the lessons from this. Let it continue.
He wasn't seeking fentanyl.
He made a really bad decision. Not one that should have taken his life, though.
Sounds like you've had a crash course in learning about fentanyl.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Which is shocking to me because at the rate that fentanyl is killing people in this country, it is.
Oh, no, baby, not people. Your people. See, they try to do, look, that's another form of psychological comfort for them, because I got to go here like I just explained. They'll say people, but no, it's affecting your community the most. Don't put it on everybody. See, look, you don't want to share the wealth in the country. Don't share your problems with us either. That's your problem. Y'all going to have to deal with it. Let it continue.
It is absolutely ludicrous that this is not on the front page of every newspaper and every news broadcast daily.
Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid, a chemical cousin to morphine, originally designed for hospital patients in extreme pain. Now it is in cities and towns in all 50 states. Frequent users heat up fentanyl powder and inhale it. But more often, it's sold in pill form, deliberately made to look like real prescription drugs. The one on the left contains fentanyl. Just 2 milligrams, an amount that fits on the tip of a pencil, can kill.
The cartels don't sell fentanyl as fentanyl. They hide it in other drugs like cocaine or methamphetamine or heroin. They make it into these fake pills that look identical to pharmaceutical drugs that Americans would recognize, like Oxy or Xanax, Percocet, Adderall. It will be a very massive high that is very short. And that person, they're betting, if they survive, will come back again and again and again to buy more.
3 years ago, Ann Milgram, a former Attorney General of New Jersey, took over the Drug Enforcement Administration. Since then, fentanyl has claimed more than 200,000 American lives, although deaths appear to be leveling off.
Fentanyl is impacting every part of the United States. It's impacting our communities, it's impacting our kids, it's impacting our economy. One of the things that I've learned over the last few years that really stays with me is every single week we lose 22 teens between the ages of 14 and 18.
Every week?
Every single week, we're basically losing a high school class somewhere in America.
Now, let's go ahead and put into further context why she mentioned that, in case anybody just think that, oh, she just cares about kids. No. I'm finna go deeper than this. And see, they're not gonna like me saying this, but I got to make sure my people understand the truth. Reason she's worried about that is not that she cares so much about them kids dying. They're looking at, hey, if our youth are dying, what do I always tell y'all? The youth of any group is the future of your people. Yeah, that's what they're concerned about. Her and all the powers that be. Listen, what was it? What was that Representative Steve King or whatever his name was? You remember years ago? He went in and said, oh, there's hardly no white children in these classrooms. Oh, they are hypersensitive about these numbers. But again, they did it to themselves. You worked hard to get yourselves here, white America. You see all that anti-black racism and white supremacy? You steady focusing on depriving and hurting black people. All the while, your community was deteriorating from the foolish decisions, not mistakes, that you chose to make in your community. Overlooking the major problems and trying to put your propaganda out as if it's, y'all know the old made up bullshit stat that's mathematically impossible. Black people, 13% of the population, but commit 52% of the crimes. 1352, you know, that's white supremacist numbers, okay? Mathematically impossible, by the way, but when you look at the real situation with them and how they failed to deal with it, here's what it got you, white America. Congratulations. And I'm going to tell you right now, I, for one, am going to be encouraging my people not to save you this time. You don't deserve it, because we've saved you from yourselves too many times in this nation and never gotten our just due for it. There's several instances in history when we've done this. Not this time. And if I'm talking to a black person, you one of these overly compassionate people, nope. Take that compassion and turn it towards our people. Our people need that. I will be quicker to help an on-code non-FBA brother or sister than I will them. I'm not helping you. Nope. Because you've shown my people no compassion. Hence why I'm showing you, or I showed you earlier in the broadcast, what Jim Crow Joe Biden was saying about that 94 crime bill and all the others that he authored since 1976. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. You on your own. They tell us how high their IQs are, how much smarter they are than everybody. Everybody, we so lazy. Okay, great. Congratulations. You got these extra high IQs and you work so much harder than everybody. Well, you got everything you need to figure out the situation. Don't look to me for nothing, because all my help and all of my compassion is for my community only. Let's let it continue.
He started putting pictures of people who died from fentanyl in the lobby of DEA headquarters, a daily reminder of the drug's catastrophic impact.
We're losing a generation.
That's what this is.
Yes. You can see it so clearly when you look and you see Americans from all walks of life, all states, all communities, young and old, every background possible. We have folks in military uniforms. We've got babies.
Oh my God.
You can
Someone who
see.
just picks up a pill that a parent dropped.
Yes.
The DEA is part of the Department of Justice and conducts intelligence gathering and counter-drug operations worldwide. Milgram oversees 10,000 employees.
As complex and as massive a problem as this is, it's also not a whodunit. We know who's responsible. It's the Sinaloa cartel and the Jalisco cartel that are based in Mexico. They dominate and control the entire global fentanyl supply chain, starting in China, going to Mexico, coming into the United States.
Milgram told us this crisis began 10 years ago when the cartels started to wrestle control of the supply chain from China. And
now, let me correct the good brother Ed Whitaker, who is an outstanding professional journalist, by the way. But see, y'all know that that's a misnomer, what he just said. And I showed you why it's a misnomer. Again, go look up that broadcast I did to show you how the Mexican cartel and Chinese triad are cooperating. Mexican cartel didn't wrestle control away from them. They cut deals with one another. Okay? The CCP. See, this is the thing, too. Let me point this out, because I explained this in that broadcast I just mentioned. The CCP, Chinese Communist Party, they're not as against the triad as you might think. There is a section of the triad that actually makes them a lot of money internationally. Okay? If they're making money for them, they look the other way on a lot of stuff they do in China, okay? Now, in the beginning, if you know your history about how the Chinese triad came about, they were in opposition to the government. Well, as we all know, the old saying, money talk, bullshit walk. That's where they are with it today. So let me further expound upon this, all right? The way Mexico and China in particular is looking at it, since they're a major power on the world stage, China, they're saying, yeah, you know, our main competition is them folks over here in America. So if we can sabotage them from within and knock off future generations of their people, that puts us in a much better standing on the world stage. So you got to start to understand how they're looking at this beyond just getting them hooked on drugs. The more of your young people that you take out, hey, you can't replenish your military. And if you don't understand what I'm saying about that, let me tell you something. Just look at some of the changes. Hold tight, just a second. Hold tight. All right, family. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Give me a black fist in the chat if you can hear me. See, hey, listen. I keep telling y'all, man, when you go deep and hard to paint like I do, and I'm spitting the truth over here, and again, it's their platform. They can do what they want. But notice how it was cool until I started going where I was going with that. And y'all hear me loud and clear in the chat room. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Listen, let me tell y'all something, man. I just may have to do a full deep dive on this on Patreon. This is why you need to join Patreon, okay? Because I might have to continue where I left off and go full-fledged into that. So I'm gonna have to try to be careful with my words and just play the rest of the audio on what he was saying. All right, that's what I'm probably gonna have to do with the rest of this. But let me ask this question before I do that. How many of y'all picked up on what I was saying before they rudely interrupted us? And it's their platform, they can do it. How many of y'all understood what I was saying? Do I need to go back over anything, or do I need to try to codify what I'm saying so that I can pick back up on that? Because I want to make sure everybody understood where I was going with that. Huh? Did y'all pick up what I was saying? Like, what was the last things y'all heard? Because I want to make sure I know where they cut me off at. All right. Y'all caught me? Okay. Because I was trying to explain to y'all why China was doing what they were doing to them. Y'all got it? Okay, cool. Okay. I'm seeing most of the people got it. Okay. All right. So y'all want me to kind of continue with that, or y'all got the gist of it? Because I think I have a smart audience over here. But if y'all need me to, I'll go ahead and finish breaking that down before we go ahead and wind it up. What y'all want to do? Y'all want me to continue down that line of thought there? Because I think everybody probably caught it. It's up to y'all. Okay. I see one person say proceed. All right. RY got the gist. Okay. Michael Wills said continue on China. Okay. I'll sound off. It's interactive over here. I actually look in my chat room. Okay. Carla Wilson says finish, please. Okay. Okay. Good deal. Most people saying continue. Okay. So here's the deal. The Chinese triad and the Mexican cartels, I stated, they're working together. Okay. It's not a situation where one wrestles control from the other. And I was talking about how, in the initial stages of the Chinese triad, they were against the Chinese government. But hey, today they look the other way on that. As long as they have the money to cover what they're trying to do, they're like, hey, man, you can do what you want to do as long as you bring this money back. There's a plan called Tian Hao Wei. Okay. I'm going to give y'all a bit of history to show you how the Chinese triad, which operates internationally, yes, they're over here in the United States. Black Voltron, you'll know the history of what I'm about to share with this. Black Voltron, you remember Raymond Chow over there and Peter Chung? Remember him? Shrimp Boy, they called him Raymond Chow. He flipped on his former boss, Peter Chung, there because he sold him out. But basically, that Tian Hao Wei plan, the plan was they sent a triad member over there, San Francisco, over there in the 70s. And the goal was to get control of the drug trade over there and unite all the Chinese towns under one central organization that they call Tian Hao Wei. And that stands for Whole Earth Association. Okay. So now that was in the 70s when they were getting a foothold. They were making a lot of money. Let me tell you something, man. The little dude, Shrimp Boy over there, before they actually caught him and locked him up, man, he was running San Francisco as far as the Asian community, running it. Okay. Them dudes was making money hand over fist. My brother Black Voltron know about that period. Let me tell you something. Fast forward to today. Think about the advent of technology and everything. You think about where China is on the world stage today, thanks to the copy to China plan that I've already mentioned, how they took advantage of white folks' greed and all the factories over there thinking they was going to exploit that cheap labor. And China was like, okay, you're going to partner with a Chinese company. And whatever knockoff, we produce, we're going to sell that on the world market and undercut your price. And that has turned them into an economic superpower that can rival the United States. Okay. Now, when you think about following the money and then you look at America's weakness, them folks, okay, over here, they have the greatest need for drugs and they're greedy. And they have this arrogance where they think that they're the smartest things in the world. Because, they always tell us about how high their IQs are. Okay. China is like, okay, cool. Because see, in China right now, let me tell you something you better look at in their society. And Russia too, by the way. A couple of things they're doing And the reason why these drugs are tearing up America over here, because the more young people get killed, they can't replenish the military with younger ranks. China is, that LGBTQ stuff, oh no, you can't get on TV with that over there. They shut that down. I can show you right now. Some of you can probably find this on TikTok. It's actually 2 different versions of TikTok, believe it or not. See, that stuff that they send us over here, the goofy stuff, all that, yeah. I mean, you can find good information over here on this version of it. The Chinese version of TikTok, oh, it's educational. Ain't no goofy stuff on there. The stuff their children are learning, man, they are not playing. Same thing with Russia. A lot of in other words, basically they took a look at the US and they said, okay, what's made this country so weak? And they're doing the complete polar opposite, okay? So now you add to the fact that you throw drugs in the mix, that further deteriorates your society. And again, why they running around looking at black people this, black people that? You better look at these superpowers that's not playing with y'all, okay? So that's what I was saying before they interrupt the stream. But see, we're gonna play the rest of the audio. We gonna, I know I got Milf Mouth and his daddy up here, but listen, man, they don't want me to show y'all the rest of that, so I'm just gonna have to let you hear the audio. But does that make sense though? Does everybody catch what I was saying? And if you're a young person in here and you don't understand, what I was saying, please feel free to ask questions. I do not mind answering my audience's questions. I'm not one of these people where you have to pay me to talk to me. Okay, you can ask questions over here if you're a young person. Everybody gets it though. Want to make sure before I play the rest of the audio. Like I said, if you're a young person listening, ask questions if you don't understand, because I will gladly fill you in. And like brother Black Voltron's put in the chat here. Shrimp Boy's time, or the guy I was just mentioning, was from 1975 to 1990. Okay, so like I said, man, when you know these types of things like this history, you can always see how it correlates to present day. But see, we're gonna let this pick up where they interrupted it, and I want y'all to take notes and listen, because sometimes you don't need to see things. Sometimes you just need to have good ears. So we're gonna let him continue. I want y'all to be prepared to listen.
Began making fentanyl in clandestine labs in Mexico. So these 2 drug cartels from our neighbor, from Mexico, are responsible for almost 70,000 American deaths a year?
Yes.
How do you fight that?
We've taken action over the last 3 years against every single part of that global supply chain, charging Chinese nationals with selling fentanyl precursors, charging and indicting, investigating members of these cartels at every level, and then finally taking hundreds of millions of deadly doses of fentanyl off American streets. And we're making progress, but there's so much more that needs to be done.
The majority of the fentanyl that we're seeing, about 90+% is coming in passenger vehicles.
Commissioner Troy Miller, a 30-year veteran of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, told us almost all the fentanyl coming into the country is smuggled through legal ports of entry like here at San Isidro, between San Diego and Tijuana. It's the busiest land port in the Western Hemisphere. What percentage of the smuggled fentanyl do you think you are catching?
Bill, I don't know what percentage we're catching, but I can tell you we've seized 27,000 pounds of fentanyl in fiscal year 2023.
Miller took us for a bird's eye view to see the magnitude of the challenge.
So this is the wall, comes right up to the port of entry, and it resumes here. That's Mexico.
More than 60,000 cars snake through 34 lanes 24/7. Officers have a minute or less to decide who gets a second look, and they only have the resources to search 8% of the cars. Dogs trained to sniff out fentanyl are some of their best assets. The cartels are constantly adapting. For example, hiding pills in gas tanks to mask the scent.
So we're in the seizure vault.
Commissioner Miller showed us rack after rack of seized drugs locked in this massive vault. For security reasons, we agreed not to divulge its location. So explain to me why the smugglers would use the busiest port as their main smuggling route. I mean, it seems counterintuitive. Why not do it someplace much less conspicuous? Why not come across the desert?
Well, in the San Diego field office, we're seeing 200,000 people a day. Every one of these 200,000 people is presenting themselves as a legitimate traveler.
We were astonished to learn 2/3 of the people arrested smuggling fentanyl are American citizens paid by the cartels.
We've seen terrible trends. We've seen high school, middle schoolers smuggling fentanyl and dropping it off to a cartel member at a high school.
Do you have the budget and the manpower you need?
I've been very clear that Customs and Border Protection needs more officers. We need more agents. We need more intel research specialists to distill that information.
We asked him about the bipartisan border bill killed by the Senate at the urging of former President Donald Trump. It would have provided 1,500 new border and customs officers and 100 high-tech detection machines.
Now, see, y'all hear how they keep talking about that bill that Donald Trump had killed while he was out of office. First of all, when the Democrats keep saying that, you realize how powerful that make that man look? He can not be in office and just kill whole bills with a phone call or his urgent. So a lot of people was like, well, you know, if he's that powerful, let's put him back in office. But see, here's the thing. What everybody that keeps saying that, talking about that one particular bill, and they really never put any hard evidence out to support that he actually said that or killed that bill. But here's the thing. Let's just say it's true. The problem didn't start with Trump killing a bill. The problem started with everything that I mentioned earlier in this broadcast. Them sitting there ignoring for long periods of time the obvious problem in their community that their people were responsible for. See, really, if they were about those 14 words of white supremacy, y'all know what they are, okay? If they was really about that, they would look at everybody that's serving that poison to their people as traitors to their particular race. Oh, but see, you know, what I just said, that's too much like right. So I just had to point that out. All this stuff, where they talk about Trump killing a bill, nah, that's not what started this problem, okay? It's not. This goes back for decades. They should have been paying the same focus that they pay to white black people on their people. Let it continue.
The bill had money for much of the stuff you were talking about. Is the political inaction, is that costing lives?
What I can say is we need more resources to do our jobs, and we need to all get on the same page and tackle this together.
Oh, the brother Black Voltron just brought up a good point in the chat room. My brother Black Voltron says that only 8% is captured by the DEA and law enforcement. That percentage is probably falsely inflated. And you're right, brother Black Voltron, because the reason why we know it's falsely inflated, most of those DEA agents are corrupt. Those are some of the biggest drug dealers it is, man. I'm telling you, man. Listen, let me tell y'all something. How many of y'all familiar with the phrase and the saying, art imitates life? Go back and watch the movie Training Day. That wasn't fabricated. Now, you know they had to put our brother Denzel in the main villain role, but listen, man, art does imitate life. That movie pretty much it was some things that was exaggerated, but yeah, that's kind of how it is. Okay? Go back and watch that movie. I know it's been a minute since some of y'all seen that, but yeah, there's a lot of truth in some of these movies if you really know what to look for and how it correlates to the things that's going on in society. So I want to put that out there on y'all. Let's let it continue.
Mary Hobson saw the fentanyl crisis coming. As an assistant U.S. attorney in San Diego, she prosecuted Mexican cartel cases for 30 years before retiring in 2020.
Cartels are very business-oriented. They look for profit. They look for perpetual power. They're institutionalized.
So it sounds like you're saying they're very sophisticated.
They are. They do their homework. They do their analysis.
She says the cartel's move into fentanyl was entirely predictable. When the U.S. opioid crisis triggered a crackdown on the drug industry and many companies were sued by ravaged communities, the supply of legal opioids dried up, but the demand from Americans addicted to the drugs did not.
It's very strange to think that the pharmaceutical industry basically set the table for the Mexican cartels to come in and dominate.
That's incredible.
It is. So I think what happened was they said, you know what, we have an open market. We have millions of people that are addicted to oxycodone. We can do fentanyl. We can create these counterfeit pills and we can sell them.
So the Mexican cartels just filled this vacuum.
fill the void, fill the vacuum.
So the opioid epidemic definitely started this arc that we're on.
The head of the DEA, Ann Milgram, agrees the U.S. drug industry bears a lot of blame for igniting the crisis, but says social media companies are fueling it today. The companies say they're taking steps to combat this.
And what's happening on social media? The cartels use it to organize themselves, to get individuals who will carry the drugs across the border from Mexico, to post ads for drugs and to sell drugs, whether it's Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. There are drugs being sold there every single day.
And 7 out of 10 of those counterfeit pills the DEA tests have a potentially deadly dose of fentanyl. Angela King and Mike O'Kelly say that's information every American needs to know.
It's a war. It's a new drug war. And that drug war is totally different than anything we've ever dealt with before, because now we're losing our young ones. And whatever the government's trying to do, I'm glad they're doing something. It just doesn't seem to be enough.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you heard that, family. You heard it, right? You heard that. And see, let me say this. That drug war, the main targets of the drug war were the Black American community, as if we were the ones bringing it over here and responsible for manufacturing it. And we all know that that's the furthest thing from the truth. But see, when you sit there and you indulge in your white supremacist fantasy, this is what the results of it are. And see, let me give you a little bit of backstory about China as to why they're so vehement in their country about drug use. Let me tell you something. China, a couple other Asian countries like Thailand, you get caught with hard drugs over there, oh, you're not finna go sit down in no cell. It's execution time. They're finna get you up out of here. Let me tell you why China is so adamant about that. If you know anything about the Chinese dynasty period there was a time where that was a tactic that was used to actually subjugate and defeat them. A lot of the Japanese exploited that. It's why to this day, a lot of the older Chinese and Japanese people don't get along. Okay, and look, if you know your history about what the Japanese did to Chinese, I can understand that. Okay, I can understand. It was devastating. A lot of people look at Japan as a tiny little nation today, but you go back a couple of 100 years ago, they were very powerful over there in that region. Okay, and like they really ran roughshod over the Chinese and the South Koreans fight the business. Okay, but see, with China, let me tell you something. A lot of their military was strung out on the opioids over there, because over there in China, they can get, they got opium over there. Afghanistan's another place. But the Chinese emperors at the time, they were like, man, why we getting our asses tore up on these battlefields like this? And they started to look into all their soldiers was abusing that. So he immediately like, hey, listen, nah, no more of this. Our whole country will be taken over if we don't do something about this. So to this day, it's the death penalty you get caught with hard drugs over there. All right. So white America, this is your problem. You can try to spin it as if it's everybody's problem all you want. That's not factual, okay? It's not. And see, family, since they wanted to, interrupt our teaching session over here, I'm going to close out with some if you all want to hear it again. How many of y'all want to hear the song again tonight? Because I think I made my point on the lesson here. How many of y'all want to hear the song one more time before we get out of here? Huh? Yeah, exactly, Brother Black Voltron, the Boxer Rebellion. Yes, sir. Look up the Boxer Rebellion. That's exactly the period that I was describing there. It slipped my mind, but my Brother Black Voltron is very well versed on this history as well. Look up the Boxer Rebellion. But on the way out, how many of y'all want to hear the song one more time, man? Because see, I got to leave our buddy up here since he's roaming around being a little thug and a criminal. Since his daddy pardoned him. He going to be riding around playing this song. Because, look, let me tell you something about that before we play the song if y'all want to hear it. Listen, Joe Biden, if you smart, you would take your little convicted thug crackhead son and get him out the country for about 4 years. Because, see, even though you pardon him on stuff going back 10 years, he going to fuck up again. He's a perpetual drug addict. And the orange man is coming in swinging. He going to do something else, and they're going to bring new charges on him. You ain't gonna be able to pardon him then. So if you smart, you better take your little crackhead son here and get him up out the country. So y'all want to hear that hit one more time before we get up out of here? Y'all ready? I see y'all. Hey, let me know. Let me get somebody to participate. Y'all signed off in the chat. I see a couple of yeses in here. Yeah, Darren Miller TV. He said, I Need Drugs by LL Smoke J. And that's exactly what it is, my brother. So since a lot of y'all want to hear it,
we're gonna play the song again. Yes, we're gonna play it. DJ Snake in the house, and throw your lighters up, because since they don't want me to teach you knowledge, well, I guess I'll just have to entertain you with some mighty fine music, and throw your pipes in the air and smoke them like you just don't care. Here comes the classic one more time.
When I come home from work, I'm fiending for an 8-ball. I got crack on my mind, I'm hearing cocaine call, telling me to beep the dealer to deliver me stuff. Keep it a secret from my wife, cause she thinks I don't use drugs. There I was, bleeding from my nose, and damn, I couldn't breathe, but I'm still thinking about the next gram. It's Friday night, I'm not trying to leave my crib, dude. I kill myself while the dealer's eating Japanese food. I ain't got no pride while buying the shit. I'm lying to myself, telling the runner I'm trying to quit. It's all make-believe, I'll pretend that I'm true, and when you give me credit, I'll dodge you every chance that I get to. Even if it's good, I'll sniff it up in a minute. Beat you back and complain that you put too much cut in it. If you fall for that and bring me a new sack, I'll be making more crazy faces than Jim Carrey on crack. Cause yo, I'm ripped, I owe you loot, plus I annoy you. I deserve to be murdered, but the coke is doing it for you. I got nerve, can you put them pills on my bill? Yo, I'll tell you we're friends, and yo, we don't even chill. I need drugs. Drugs. Baking soda, cocaine, how sweet. I need to find me a crack pipe and I'm complete. Got these crack dealers chasing me through the cement jungle, cause they gave me shit to sell, and yo, I smoked the whole bundle. Yo, I can't front, I got dope in my spleen, and I'm telling everyone at this NA meeting I'm 38 clean. I won't die even with tuberculosis. I could go on forever mixing dope with my method on dosage. You can find me at Brighton Beach or Coney Island or Rikers Island. My crack pipe's my violin, I play along to the police siren. My eyes squint, looking for crack on the floor, picking up breadcrumbs and lint. I don't know who I am, ask me I couldn't say. I took a chance and tried to get clean and it lasted one day. Tried to go to rehab too but couldn't get admitted, and if money's missing from your pocketbook, you know who did it. I need drugs. I need drugs. As a young teen, I started with marijuana, then graduated to coke, cause I needed something stronger. Masculine dust, down as injection sensation. I love to experience a patient's medication. Smack, 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 smack,
throw your lighters in the air and smoke them like you just don't care. DJ Separate Tongue in the house, dropping the hits. Yeah.
I'm swearing in tears, I'm not gonna get high, I'll only drink beers. Can't sit and wait for my dealer to come provide it. Got a party to go to and I'm the only one invited. I'll search a whole house for that damn white mouse, and when I finally find it, I'll sniff the whole ounce. I need drugs. I need drugs. Dealer, listen to me. When I come home from work, fiending for an 8-ball, nose candy on my mind, I've come to realize you need me. And if you want me to keep copping, give me a free piece. It's my birthday, yesterday. Anyway, I'ma go sniff this. I'll beep you in an hour. I hate you.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You need drugs. Don't listen to anybody that says crack is whack. We're bringing crack back, okay? Now listen, you might not have a daddy to give you a presidential pardon like Hunter here. Doesn't Hunter look like something out The Walking Dead? In this picture that you're looking at, doesn't he look like that? Anyway, this has been your greatest DJ Fork Tongue in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, I only bring you the greatest hits that all junkies need in their lives. And listen, before I get out of here, remember, if you bring me in by the fire, don't be surprised when I bite your ass and you're on fire.
Hey, man, listen, they interrupted our education over here, so we got to clown their asses, man. Salute to the good brother Project Leroy for the cash out, man. Listen, family, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it on up, man, and let y'all retire to whatever y'all about to retire to. But all jokes aside, I think I did make my point. Even before the interruption, make sure that you reflect on the things that I said in the beginning of the broadcast, especially those that concern our young black babies and your young black teenagers. Make sure that they're not being taken away from us prematurely by these dangerous drugs, okay? We can't help what other communities do. We got to focus on ours and make sure that our children are here to be the future of our people, okay? So with that said, thank you to everybody contributing to the broadcast. Salute to all of my Patreon members. If you are not signed up over there, you want to consider doing that, because we just recently did an excellent broadcast that put a deep dive on a lot of what's going on the continent. We broke down a lot of what Davido was saying and why some people were mad about it. Everybody that loved that broadcast got a lot out of it. So gonna have a lot more content coming up pretty soon, because before we close, next week here, we're gonna be doing the X Space, where we're gonna have the sisters, professional sisters, speaking on their careers, giving the young sisters some game. Brother Black Voltron, if you're available, I'm probably going to have you co-host with me. And, we're going to put that out there because, last time I did a couple of all men spaces, and I said, you know what, that's not right. We need to do something for the sisters as well, even though everybody can participate. But I do want to show y'all that, hey, listen, I know that we got two halves to our community, okay? So we're going to definitely get that going next week. And all of you sisters that want to participate, let me know. Give me an email, hit me up on Twitter, X, Patreon, what have you. That's where I'm pulling from mostly, is our Patreon members. Those sisters over there are about their business. So I can't wait to do that. And, hopefully we can steal an hour of your time and just give the sisters some good games so they ain't got to be on nobody's OnlyFans, okay? Next is coming up on this channel, I'm going to have to review something that was said by some more incels. We got to get in front of that. And it's a lot we're going to have coming down the pipe over here, okay? So with that said, I want y'all to take care of yourselves. Remember, we are a great and mighty people, and we are at our most powerful and strongest when our minds are sober and we're functioning to our full capacity. Take care of yourselves. Salute to you, Black First, and I will see you all in future content.